So I got a request from some followers to do a log hopping techniques video, and that's what this video is. And it's a basic log hopping techniques video, so don't expect it to be incredibly advanced or anything. But it is a longer video, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link to the different sections right in here. There's gonna be some times, and the links will be in the description. So if you wanna hop over some of the different sections, then please do that. No matter if you're beginner or seasoned, if this is new to you, I would encourage you to watch the actual log parts more than once. And the reason I say that is because I actually go over those logs in a multitude of different ways. And if you're distracted by, say, the third person video, like trying to watch something like my feet or whatever, you might miss something that I either say or do in the first person. So without further ado, here is the log jumping video. I'm actually out trail riding on the Freeride. It's pretty foggy mountain weather. It's real wet. It's not raining, but it's that really thick wet fog. So I'm kind of just out here exploring in the bush. And I ride around in you can see down there, map 1 quite a bit when I'm in the bush like this, because there's a lot of these hidden rocks inside this grass. And I know it doesn't really look very deep, but it's handlebars deep in some places, and even the grass themselves acts like big rocks. So I like to putt around in mode 1. I think I might have a flat tire. Oh no, I'm just on a sharp rock. These bikes really favor a gummy rear tire. So I'm really hoping that the new tire that I'm going to put on here tomorrow that I ordered is a softer compound than this Dunlop 952 that I'm running. Because this thing wants something sticky. Let's cruise up all these rocks. Creep up them in mode 1. It just barely has enough power with this 12-tooth sprocket from a standstill. Mode 1 is better at carrying momentum than it is just stopping and starting, but when you're putting around real slowly and stuff like this, it really works pretty well. All that moisture on my front brake has been making it squeak since I got here, so if I'm being really honest about my trail riding, it's just because I'm looking for mounds of dirt and transitions and things like that maybe I could build some jumps out of. So I found a little pile of dirt here on the side of the road. Ooh, maybe that's a rock. It was all grass with a rock in it. And it holds you for a minute, and then it just gives away. So I get asked about wheelies a lot. And, you know, does it have enough power to do wheelies? Does it not have a clutch? You know, can't do wheelies because it's a stupid bike without a clutch. Like, wheelies have nothing to do with the clutch. You can do them with the clutch, but they have nothing to do with the clutch. It's all about suspension compression. So if you just bounce on your bike and give it a tiny bit of throttle, you can see I'm in mode 2, barely any RPMs, and I can get the front wheel up. Okay, so if you want to practice wheelies on this thing, then you should just push on your suspension. And you can do that in your driveway. Like here, I'll turn the motor completely off. You can just compress the suspension and the front end will lift up. So cover your rear brake. Always cover your rear brake. On this bike, it's up here. Normally it's down there. So no matter what, when you're doing wheelies, cover the rear brake. So in mode 2 with the smoother power curve, it doesn't get away from you as easy. But that's tricky too, because mode 2 requires more twist. And so you twist and you don't feel the power hit, and then when you get halfway into the middle of the power, that's when it hits. So you can get it up, and then it comes into the power, and it can flip you. So you always got to have your fingers covering the brakes. And today these levers are really slippery with all this mist, and these gloves don't have very good traction. So I'm wishing I had some tape or something to wrap around those right now. So push and wheel it. Push and wheel it. Push and wheel it. It's the same thing to hop over logs. I'll do like a pivot turn on this thing, because it's sort of the same concept. You just compress the front end, just push your weight in, and lift the front while you're giving it a little bit of gas. I got my fingers covering the brakes. It's not too tough because you don't have to operate the clutch or anything. You just press down, give it a little gas. That's it. So keep your balls of your feet on the pegs like this, you know, just like you would jump when you weren't on a bike. On the ground, you know, you're going to jump, you would squat, and you wouldn't launch from your heels, you would launch from your toes. So you get that ankle spring. Same thing when you're on a motorcycle, no different. So mode 2 here. I'll come over the log. This is a loose log. Cover your brake. Mounts. And right out. There's just a little bit of gas there. Barely any. And this is what's super cool about these bikes. You know, you can almost ride them like trials bikes because the power is just so smooth. I don't have to switch gears or anything. So compress. And over. That's it. You guys catching that? Balls of the feet. Coming at it. Have nice balance. That means you have to roll a little bit. No problemo. Alright, so down. Compress. And I'm giving it more throttle just so I can clean it really easy for you guys. Like if this was on a trail, I'd just let it roll over like that. So let's move this other log over here and we'll make a bigger obstacle. I mean, there's a reason that trials bikes don't even have seats, because they don't sit. Seats are for a little bit in corners and aesthetics. So if I was going to go do this corner right now, you know, I come in here, I'm down, plop my butt, put my leg out, roll through it, and I stand back up once I'm exiting. Because if your butt is connected to the back of the seat, when the bike moves, it moves you. If you're up above it, the bike goes underneath you. So when you're accelerating out of a corner and you're actually sitting down, all that crap is transmitting into your body, and you think, well, you need more traction. Now it's not really like that. That's where the weight into the foot pegs, you know, because if we're standing right here with our quads loaded up, like I can push on the foot peg and it's shoving force into the suspension. That's why it's collapsing. So when you're coming out of a corner under acceleration, that's shoving the energy into the ground. You know, in Supercross, these guys come out of tight corners and they make these double jumps, right? They're loading the back end, loading the back end suspension, compressing it into the face, and then giving it gas and dumping the clutch. And as they come off the top of the jump, it lifts them so they can fly higher to get over that jump. In jumping in general, you want to fly low. And that's why they scrub and they come into the jump real fast. And instead of popping up in the air, they absorb it into the body and whew, keep it as low to the ground as possible and land. So don't sit on your seat, except for when it's necessary. The seat is for looks. So I got the much bigger log set up, and hopefully the third person camera shows it a little bit, but you can see it's not too far below my foot pegs if I tip my bike up. So that's a decent sized log to be hopping, at least for beginners. Once again, balls of the feet, nice and steady. Everything's nice and steady. Now come at it and hop right over. This way it's a little double. And that time I let off the gas, so you don't need to hold it wide open going over the thing. You just need enough gas to get over it. You can see I'm going super slow. No clutch at all. You can, you know, kind of load the throttle with the brake a little bit, or load it into the brake. But yeah, all you do is just push on the front end. I'll do it like almost no throttle. Oops, I broke the log in half. So with the log braking, it's actually going to give me an opportunity to demonstrate for you. Now we look at it, and it almost looks like it has a ramp. We've got the little log as a kicker, and even before that we have the little rock as a kicker. So now it's almost a smooth transition on that. I can come around the corner flying, and if I picked that line right through the middle, I can jump that. I think we'll start there. I think I'll just jump it. I'm gonna get too crazy, but ripping down the double track, I see a log ahead. And you have to make sure that you stay light on your feet there, because obviously when the rear end hits it, it's gonna jump. Now if you're gonna practice on a log, probably shouldn't do it the way I'm doing. You should make sure that it's a little steadier, because when these things roll, you go down. It's not pretty. Smashed the brake lever on my 690 jumping over these things for one of my videos. So those are only about $150 to replace. $150 video for you guys. Push down on the front end and go over. You're not jerking back up. I repeat, you're not jerking back up. It's the rebound timing to get you over it. And you can also start further back, and that will drop you right on the back side of the log. So I'll start back here where the dirt patch is, where I normally throttle. You don't have to go balls out, log and roading all the time. If you want to become a better rider, just do this kind of stuff. You know? A lot of people don't do this kind of stuff. And that's why they have no balancing skills, and yeah, it's just, you can come out and play. And that's these e-bikes are perfect for. Super quiet. You can do this in your backyard. Like, a lot of people have yards this big. Get a log or some cinder blocks. If you guys follow Graham Jarvis, you can see that he's been riding in his backyard. Rode his bike right through the roof of his shed, jumping over his lawnmower. I'll see if I can wheelie and keep it in a wheelie on the other side. So that's called manualing right there. So I wheelied over it, I absorbed it with my back end, and then I kept it in a wheelie. Alright, so I'll get you a little different view in the third person down below there. And I took the littler log out because it was basically just rotten. Oops. So I carried the wheel a little high on that, and tire gripped going up the log a little bit too much and flipped it. So maybe if you guys got a little log for your yard or whatever, and you wanted to brace it with some sandbags or some stakes, that would be the better way to do it. How quiet this thing is. It doesn't make any noise. I'll just go with this thing at 0. Once again, it looks like I'm pulling up, but I'm really not. This hand doesn't have enough power to pull up, really. And there's a couple ways you can do it. I usually try and push with my arms, which probably takes too much effort and is wrong. But you can also do it with your feet, because that gets the back end in. I don't know, I use a mixture of methods. Just depends on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I don't always want the back end compressing. I don't know. Just instinct. So normally I wouldn't advocate that you hit this log after it rolled, but I'm going to hit it with a little more speed. And that time I lifted my feet up just a tad going over it to unweight me from the back end. Because if I can unweight the back end of the bike and I'm not really connected to it, so my feet are like this, and as soon as I go over the log, I lift my feet away a little bit and the bike can do its thing and it'll hit the log less hard. So that was a really, really greasy log. I would compress, give it a little gas, hit it, and as soon as the bike started to pop up, I unweight so that there's not a bunch of pressure down on the log, which would put more pressure on the tire. And when the tire's searching for traction and it can't, it will spin. So, boom, lifts up, and then the tire gets light and just grazes over the top of the log. That way you won't spin going over the log. Being that that log rolls, that's pretty critical, because we don't want to put a lot of pressure down into this log. So hopefully it shows in that third-person video down there that you can see my feet coming up. That one I even hit it at a slight little angle where it would be more inclined to slide. Like it actually did right there. The log even rolled. This is no problem. It just takes a little practice. Okay, enough of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed those little log hopping tips. I explained it all. You just got to go out and practice it. And if you like videos like this, make sure that you leave a comment down below and let me know what you want to see, because you know, I don't know what you guys know and don't know. So if you want to know something, let me know and I'll work on it for you. If you want to know how to wash your face, then I can get home and show you how to do that too. I went through all the techniques and the basic ones anyway. You know, I didn't do any super complicated trials hopping or anything like that, but most of the subscribers probably aren't to that level anyway. They just want functional stuff to get over a log in the woods where they live and not crash and land on their head. Yeah, if you guys like this, let me know, because you know, I try not to put up too many just kind of overly junky riding videos. There's plenty of that on the internet, so I like to give you guys some tips and tricks if I can. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.